I was asked to share something about a Lent journey and being a season of hope. And I thought for just a minute, and then my mind immediately went racing back to last year. I was serving a church that did not have a pastor. They could not find a pastor. And so I had agreed to come and do some videotaping and such so that they'd at least have some type of service. It was the time of the pandemic, which made things really uncomfortable. And you really had to think outside the box. And so as Holy Week came, I thought, how will we celebrate and remember and live through this Holy Week, bringing us to this celebration of Easter in a way that people can feel connected to each other and to the church, and yet in the middle of a pandemic? Well, planned a Thursday night service and invited the consistory to be part of it, so at least they would see some faces they knew in the sanctuary. And that service went really well. And we planned a Good Friday service with candles lit, and we would slowly out in them, and that was going to be awesome. And then Sunday, Easter, oh, now we're talking. We're going to do something really big. We decided, since there's this huge parking lot, we were getting a flatbed truck. And on this flatbed truck, we were going to put a table as an altar and a pulpit so that it would be raised up. And then someone went and got a skirt for all around the truck so that it would be prettier looking, and flowers were added and balloons everywhere. And we were going to celebrate Easter. Off to the side was another area where the organ would be, and people were invited to come and park their cars, and we could fit as many as would come. And if the weather was okay and you agreed to follow all the rules and sit only in front of your own car, you could bring lawn chairs. This was going to be an Easter to beat all Easters. Like I said, Thursday went well, and Good Friday's coming. That morning I needed to go over to the hospital for a scan that the doctor had recommended. And as I had left, the nurse is chasing after me. Becky, you need to come back here. The doctor's on the phone. I thought, oh my gosh. So I went over at the hospital and I got on the phone, and my doctor said, we are admitting you immediately. You have diverticulitis, and a diverticuli has erupted. And so for the next 48 hours, you need to be in the hospital on an IV to counteract this infection. Are you kidding me? This is Good Friday. I need to be in church. I'm a pastor. So I thought for a minute, and I said to my doctor, thank you very much. And I left. And I drove home. Thought, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? Got home, and thank goodness my husband wasn't home. But I picked up the phone and I called our associate pastor, Andrea Lisicki, and said, Andrea, they want me to go in the hospital. Can you do tonight's service? And I can give you everything. I've got all of everything written out, including the sermon, everything. And she's like, of course I can. Just go. Easter. This phenomenal Easter. Who's available on Easter? So I called Bonnie Bates, our conference minister, and she said, I can't. She said, I'm somewhere else, but I don't know, Rich Teitsworth hasn't. Well, Rich is a good friend and has been retired. Very dynamic guy. So I called Rich and explained it to him. And I said, you can even have my sermon, and it's up on a truck, and it's this and that. And he's like, Becky, go. I've got a sermon. Give me the name of your consistory president and go. I got off the phone with him, and I looked good at crying anyway. I started to cry, and my husband walked in and explained to him what was going on. And so we immediately went to the hospital, to where they hooked me up to all sorts of things. And it's in the middle of a pandemic. I don't want to be in the hospital in a pandemic, but it was where I needed to be. Easter morning, my heart was somewhere else, and I was sad. And yet it was Easter. How could I? It's not about me. And all of a sudden, the door to my hospital room opens. And Marion McDonald, who was a doctor assigned to my case and I had not met, came into my hospital room going, "Jesus Christ is risen today, alleluia." And she's dancing around my room. And now again, I'm crying and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And she said, "I know you're a pastor and I'm a Christian and I can't be in church this morning. I'm working today and you can't be where you need to be because you're working. But Christ is risen." They still talk about how well the Easter service went. Even without me, imagine. But Easter can be wherever you are. And this is a time when we need hope more than probably ever before in my lifetime. And so this is a time we have to look and remember and know the risen Christ.